Welcome one and all to a slick stage here in the state of Virginia. We greet you from Loudoun, where today's match is presented by Segra. The circumstance and drama of the run-in threatening evermore to crash into the foreground as Loudoun United are compelled to come good against the league's far and away frontrunner, Tampa Bay Rowdies, here today. A tasty one indeed with the former Manchester United goalkeeper, Gary Bailey. I am Peyton Galler, and folks, this is your table. As you see, Tampa Bay have been the cream of the crop in the division all the way throughout, wire to wire, leading the pack in the East and in the league. Writ large, Loudoun have been something of an odd case. 8 draws for them so far on the year have kept them from the playoff conversation. They need to get going as the games gain importance. And partner, as we look at how they might do that, the attacking end, so much talent in this group, they just need to get them firing all in chorus.
Some great talent there, all fast, and we saw him scoring, and here he sets one up, just pulls it back. You've got the likes of Adonis, who isn't starting this match, but they can bring him off the bench, and of course Abakura as well. Question isn't so much the attacking firepower, it's can they keep a good clean sheet?
On the other side of things, as we look at what Thorvald Burson can offer here in this game, 8 goals for him on the year in all competitions, but coming into this one in the midst of his longest goal drought this season.
But he's an all-round player. I think if you give him service, he will score goals. He's good at heading. He holds it up well. He's a big target man, and he's a fantastic striker of the ball as well. Hit the crossbar in the last match against Pittsburgh, so he's come close to scoring, and maybe today it will come good for him.
He did score in the prior meeting with Tampa this year, and he will be looking for the soft spots in a defense that had a rough outing in their last league match, surrendering 4 goals to Lexington. Prior to that, had only allowed 8 the entire year, this Tampa Bay team.
Philip Goodwin just pulling them apart there, but that was an unlucky game. The expected goals was way higher. Came back against FC Naples. A good goal there from Carson Hendelong, was on the bench. They've lost 2 out of the last 20. You can't win every game, and they are just a wonderful team, Tampa Bay.
They will have to try and steal things up at the back here in this one with a reservist in the lineup, but familiar face to Loudoun fans. Giannis Learman gets the call to start at center back in the midst of a bit of an injury crisis in that position for Tampa.
86 appearances for Loudoun, so he knows Loudoun well, although most of the Loudoun players are new, but he's in a good defense, only conceded 12 goals in 15 games. That's the lowest in the entire USL, so I'm sure he will slot in there seamlessly.
It all starts to thicken up now. The drama, the intensity, as teams are compelled to find what they need from every match. We start the push towards the playoffs here today in Virginia. Loudoun United and Tampa Bay. That's up next. Lineups and kickoff coming to you.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
ever close to kickoff here in the state of Virginia, the Eastern Conference in the United Soccer League Championship Division. Loudoun United and Tampa Bay Rowdies. Tonight's match is presented by Children's National Hospital. Lineups are fresh from the press, presented by VSI. And for the home-sided Loudoun United, Anthony Limbrick has only made the one alteration in the last league tie.
Yeah, the last league tie against Sporting Jackson comes specific. Nyongabere for Jack Panayiotou, who is injured. And Nyongabere was at Tampa Bay last year, so it's an interesting match for him. 4-2-3-1 is his shape. We think they'll take and look to the finishing skills of both Orfason and Abukora to cause Tampa Bay some problems.
On the other side of things, Tampa Bay Rowdies, Don Casciano, always up to make alterations to a squad based on the opponent. They've made 4 from that match against Lexington a couple weeks ago.
In comes Yanis Learman, mentioned him already. Also Lewis Hilton in midfield, Pedro Dolabella and Evan Conway. Out Leland Archer, no Mateus Oliveira, he's gone to Portugal. Dion Akoff also out, and Luis Perez on the bench. It's a 4-3-3 shape, and look to Hilton, Dolabella and Schneider to try and control midfield for Tampa Bay Rowdies.
The dominance of this Tampa Bay team in many ways has come because of the depth that they sport and their adaptability as a squad. They're up against a hungry outfit today in Loudoun. Well, the last team in the USL Championship yet to find all 3 points at home. But again, it's been almost confusing that this Loudoun team has not reached their potential this year just because of the nature of the amount of draws that they've had at this point in the season, trying to get into those playoff places as we approach kickoff. Denny Kolasenak is the center official, and we are in motion. Tampa in the road white, Loudoun in the home burgundy. Tampa having lost 2 of their last 3 after starting unbeaten through the last 12, trying to make sure that there is no slump in front of them. Loudoun trying to get victory, as we said, for only the 2nd time this year, the first time at home. With Gary Bailey, I'm Peyton Gallagher. And Gary, as you look at this matchup as a whole, it really is going to be something where Loudoun need to maintain focus in the early stage and make sure that they're up for this fight against a Tampa team that gives no quarter.
Well, it's getting to the point for Loudoun where if they don't get 3 points soon, they won't make the playoffs, and Anthony Limbrick and the players know that full well. So they are currently 8 points off a playoff spot. Tough to get 3 points against the team who are leading the USL, but they're going to do it sooner or later, and today is the day they're hoping to get that victory. And if they did against a team at the top of the table, it would do wonders for their confidence.
For them today, Loudoun, this is the midway point, match number 15 in the league. And they are up and running. Acres of space to attack on the break. Wide for Thor Olfarsson. Men in the middle. Served into Abukora, who just misses out. Nervy bit of clearing, and for a Tampa team that, out of their last 90 minutes against Lexington, had only conceded 8. That was a scary moment inside the first 60 seconds.
It certainly was. Good play there. Got Olfarsson out wide here. The ball's a little bit strong, so he's forced to go quite wide, but he gets a good ball into that danger area. And they're just waiting a little bit for that ball to come in there in the center, Tampa Bay Rowdies, and get away with that one. But again, it's not the attacking ability of Loudoun that's been in question this season. It's their ability to defend. Certainly they've got great talent up front.
Nathan Dos Santos under duress. Again, just an early examination of the chemistry of that partnership at the back with Yanis Learman and Nathan Dos Santos making their first start together this year. Had a pretty extended run out in the cup match against Naples, with Leland Archer having to come off the 3rd minute. Nathan Dos Santos all but starting that game. Rush wide and a sliding intervention made. Richie Hammond.
I'm predicting a similar score. No, absolutely not.
Dropped over the top, and that will be easy meat for Jamali Wade.
Good pressure here from Loudoun, getting right up against Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay are on a fantastic away match, unbeaten streak, 7 games. 1 more and it'll be a record for them as a club. So they won't be too fussed by this high press. They know what they have to do. They've gone behind and come back to win this season. As you mentioned, only 2 losses in 20 games. They're 5 points clear at the top. I mean, this is a fantastic team, and even when they lost to Lexington recently, their expected goals was a lot higher, by 2 goals higher. Just one of those days where they couldn't find the back of the net.
Spread wide by MT Myers. Pedro Dolabella arriving on the scene. Tampa also missed a penalty early on in that game. It could have gone a lot differently against Lexington. Don Casciano certainly did not feel that it was a representative result for what his squad has been and what they expect. Looked like a bit of a shove there, and the referee will be given no option but to make the call against Evan Conway.
Scored a goal against Naples in the last match in the USL Cup. Again, he's a good goal scorer up front. You put him alongside Russell Cicerone and MT Myers. If they get service, then Loudoun will be in trouble.
This is first in 14 matches, and for a player that started the season so brightly, we get the opportunity from the outset today. So much competition in and around this Tampa Bay team, and just talking to Don Casciano in the build-up for this game, that was front of mind as they remade this squad ahead of this year after missing the playoffs a year ago. They wanted players first and foremost that were hungry. They're going to push some of the other stars in the squad.
The amazing thing is that they've got players from all over, and as you say, quality players, hungry players. I think the only player that I can see who was there last year is Lewis Hilton. Virtually everyone, I think there was 20 new players came in. So when Don Casciano arrived, they were bottom of the table. They're now 5 points clear at the top in the East and the top overall. So I would pretty much say he's done a good job. And they're in the quarterfinals of the USL Cup.
Not too shabby. They have been as good as it gets to this midway point in the year, even with the bubble. And with the loss from Louisville earlier today at the hands of Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Charleston Battery, the only one providing immediate pressure in terms of the standings. Latif Abukura, always this Loudoun team better when he is on the ball. Young Gabiri, the former Rowdy man, is chopped down, foul given.
He's got a point to prove. So has Ethan Bundre in goals. He was at Tampa Bay last year, and you've already mentioned Yanis Lehrman for Rowdies, who was at Loudoun last year. So three players who, as you always do, you want to prove your previous team that they've lost a good player. That's human nature.
No doubt. Driving in, Olfarsson a poke. Standout save from Jamali Waite. Loudoun get the alarm bells ringing again inside the first 5 minutes or so. Olfarsson not going to miss that chance too many times.
It's a good effort by Olfarsson. He was stretching, but he manages to get a bit of a flick on the ball. He's going towards goal. Jamali Waite just makes himself big and strong, and the Jamaican international makes a very important save. But again, constant danger for that Tampa Bay Rowdies defense when the likes of Olfarsson and Abukura are around.
6 clean sheets this year for Jamali Waite, the Tampa Bay #1, already more than he had a season ago. His career high is 10. Had been contested a little bit for that #1 shirt middle of the year, with Austin Pack nipping at his heels, but Pack's been down with injury last couple of games, and Jamali Waite's gotten that extended run out with the confidence knowing he's going to have his name on the team sheet. Erlinson bringing into the game Christian Torres. Might see a higher degree of rotation on this right side. Both Young-Gabiri and Torres can play right back and right wing. Now Torres is all the way infield, leading the line next to Olfarsson. Lehrman hounded at the touchline, works it out quite well. Now it's given away. Off the back heel, it's slick. It's a chip, it's another step from Jamali Waite. Tampa Bay under siege on the road. The goalkeeper's nearly giving it away again. Havoc here in Virginia. Young-Gabiri into the box, he goes down. Tampa Bay clinging to the ledge with white knuckles. They nearly give it away again. In fact, they do. Akinyoti's lost it now. Tampa opening up the game and hitting their gear. Conway with options all about. Swept wide, and D. Myers onto it. Myers! And play is stopped. Was there a foul when the ball was won?
Wow, try and make heads and tails of all of that from one end to the other. This is a fantastic save from the goalkeeper. Stands nice and big and strong. And then when it comes back to him, ends up giving the ball away. Richard Eamon there with the initial chance. And then straight from that, then there's a shout for a penalty. Youngabera goes down, but I don't think there's anywhere near enough there from Nate Dos Santos. And then up the other end, now let's have a look. There is where they say it's a foul. I don't think that's a foul. I think he's won that fair and square, MD Myers. And didn't he finish it with style as well? Brilliant. And if this match ends up as a close loss for Tampa Bay Rowdies, I think they'll come back to that moment and want to have a discussion with the referee about it.
Myers has every reason to feel confident up against Loudoun United. He scored the last 3 times he's played the Virginian club. No player since MD Myers arrived on the shores of the USL Championship has scored more goals, active or not. He nearly added another there for Tampa Bay. Would have been his 6th of the campaign.
He absolutely buried it. What a great finish. Gave Bandre no chance whatsoever, but I think he'll be quite upset when he won the ball. It looked like he won it cleanly. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it again, but it just shows you how good Tampa Bay are. After nearly conceding at one end, they go up and nearly score at the other.
Things are wide open here inside the first quarter hour. Both teams trading punches in the center of the ring, knocked down by Myers and clutched by Bandre in goal.
Just have a look here. When it comes to Myers there, I think he uses his body to shield the ball. Let's have a look at it. We'll see again from this angle. No, he gets kicked on the back of his ankle and doesn't go down. So for me, that's not a foul. I mean, very difficult for the refs to see. We've done it 3 times now, and only at the end of it am I convinced it's not a foul. So you can't blame the ref, but that's a little bit unlucky there for Tampa Bay.
You said it. That was some finish by MD Myers at the near post.
To move faster, work smarter, and do more in complex security environments.
So it's been at full bore inside this first portion of play. Does that favor Loudoun a little bit more that the game is being played at this tempo, or are you betting on the quality of Tampa Bay in the long run if it stays like this?
Yeah, I don't think you can open up that much to Tampa Bay. That's got players up front who are like this man here, just too dangerous, Russell Cicerone.
Driving Myers in a soft spot. The shot is blocked. Standing tall was Sal Mazzaferro. Already 3 shots for MD Myers at this point in the game, coming off a match last time out in the league where he had career-high 6, but put none on target. He's a dangerous man. You give him that many opportunities, he will puncture eventually.
Yeah, Loudoun have the 2nd worst defense in the USL. 28 goals conceded in 14. That's literally 2 goals per game. And when we were chatting to Anthony Limbrick, he said, we've been getting, this is his quote, we've been giving ourselves too much to do because of poor defending. So they need to keep it tight at the back. And we've just seen in the last 5 minutes, they're very open. And Tampa Bay Rowdies are able to play through them a little bit too easily. I was just looking at the expected goals against last 3 matches. Expected goals against is 5.4, which is a lot in itself, but they've conceded 8. So when you're conceding more goals than your expected goals, which is the average, basically, then A, you're giving away too many chances, and B, you're not defending it that well anyway. So that's where the change and the improvement, I feel, needs to come for Loudoun.
Again, it's that pressing action for the home side that is giving them their best chances on the front foot. The cutback cross. It'll be a corner. Yes, it will. It was again Ammon who was tightening the screws on the attack. Dead ball belonging to Christian Torres. Corner presented by Mosquito Nex. Latif Abukora. Youngabera. Just maybe trying to take some of the air out of the game. A high hit off of Dos Santos. Pedro Dolabella puts his foot on it. Charlie Ostrom charging to the wide side. several former Union Omaha players in this Tampa Bay Rowdies squad. Of course, their manager hailing from there. Conway a little bit before his time. Into the middle, Cicerone. Couldn't get full purchase, but it is out for a corner kick.
Getting that ball into the box of Loudoun. There's a lot of space there for Tampa Bay to operate in. You've got to get tighter when they get closer to the box. I think there's a little bit of discussion going on between the players. Loudoun players saying we've got to get tight. Erlinson, the captain.
And this has been one of the areas where Loudoun have switched off at times defensively. Speaking of tightness, see the second most corner kick goals in the division this year. Also conceded 7 headed goals, and with Tampa's brute force in terms of the profiles in the box right now, this is real danger area for Ethan Bandre and Loudoun United. Max Schneider over the ball. Moved in. It's useful over Bandre. Nodded off course by Erlinson. Looks like it'll be a throw-in for Tampa Bay.
Bandre coming and not getting anywhere close. He did that for the second goal against Pittsburgh in the last match from the USL Cup. Came for a cross, didn't get there, and Albert Dikwa scored at the far post. So as a goalkeeper, you've got to be sure if you're going to come, you've got to get something on the ball.
Been a bit of a carousel between the pipes this year for Loudoun. Adam Beaudry was there early on loan. He was recalled by his parent club. They brought in Jordan Farr from DC United, who suffered a season-ending injury in only his second appearance in the Cup against Greenville. Last man standing is Ethan Bandre. They will need him to lock in goal today to get anything from this game. Bolu Akinyode can't quite cleanly clear the lines, but it will be a throw-in for Loudoun United. Tampa Bay starting to more firmly win these 50-50s. Max Schneider, a big part of that. Marauding midfielder. Showed just enough of the ball to Kwame Awua for him to make the interception. Torres tearing away and turning wide. Old Farson. Loudoun just once more enjoying themselves in possession. Trying to figure out when they might be able to find a way through. Abukura popping up at the edge of the box. It does look like it's a more central deployment for him today.
They were saying they felt that he was at his most dangerous as a number 10 behind Ulfarsson. And again, going forward in an attack, Loudoun create a lot of chances. They don't score as many as they probably should do from the chances they create.
Murphy kind of thought about it. Now Abukura on the 1-2. Lingering wide, the flag will stay down. Amin is a talented dribbler. Swerving back in, waiting on it was Ulfarsson. Nodded off course by Ostrom. Fails to pick up the pieces entirely ahead of Nyangabiri. Tilting out of one tackle and taking it end line. Torres waiting. Opening up for a shot and just cued wide. Christian Torres raking beyond the posts.
That was great play there from Nyangabiri, fighting. Look at this, battling for absolutely everything. Wins it then and suddenly turns and sprints up the pitch. Avoids that tackle brilliantly, hurdles it. Plays it into Torres. His first touch lets him down, and maybe if that first touch was better, he'd have more time on the ball for the shot. Instead, the shot was hurried and still wasn't that far off. But we're just talking about the chance creation for Loudoun, and what they're struggling to do from the stats is finish them off. And just to give you one example, against Rhode Island, they lost 4-1. They had an XG of 2.83, which suggests they should have scored 3 goals. They only scored 1 goal. So they were creating a lot, they were looking dangerous, but not finishing. And I guess if at one end you're not finishing and the other end you're conceding more than you should, that explains why they're sitting second bottom. The talent is there. It just somehow is not clicking for them, and that's a real problem for Anthony Limbrick to try and solve.
We talked to him point blank about that. It is very difficult to isolate specifically why, from a tactical standpoint, Loudoun haven't been able to amplify the talent that they have, and this is one of the most talented rosters in the Eastern Conference, make no bones about it. It is a troublesome one because so much of it just comes down to player focus.
I mean, they had a couple of other things that have let them down. Injuries to Pedro Santos is just coming back now. Abukura was out for a long period as well. And in their home form, 6 draws and 2 losses. You take some of those draws and turn them into wins, it's a different story. So they're there and thereabouts, but you know, every team gets injuries. Every team will look at draws and say we should have had more wins. To your point, there's still something that isn't happening for this Loudoun team yet. Now, if they can find it here today, and they beat Tampa Bay, suddenly that locker room is buzzing, and could that kickstart the season? Absolutely. Yeah. But we said that against Sporting Jackson the previous game, and they conceded in the 94th minute, I think it was, to draw 2-2. So it has just come to bite them so often this season that they cannot get wins. They end up either with a draw or a loss.
Not only did they concede in that last phase of play, they had scored in stoppage time to take the lead on top of it. Ball in, there's a collision in the area. Questions to be asked of the referee, and he will answer them. And it looks like it will be a penalty kick and a yellow card to Nyangabiri.
Well, he's devastated as a former Tampa Bay Rowdies player. That's the last thing he wanted to do, was give away a penalty. Referee was in no doubt whatsoever. We get a chance to see it in slow-mo. Ball comes in. He hasn't gone for the ball, has he, Nyangabiri? He's put out an arm. Have a look here. Puts out an arm there, and he just collides with, I think it's Pedro Dolabella. Makes no attempt to go for the ball, and that's why the referee saw it clearly. And I can't disagree with the ref on that one. It's harsh, but you can't be putting an arm out and trying to block someone who's about to head it into the back of the net. Got to fancy Pedro Dolabella was in on goal there.
And it looks like Dolabella will take the honors. Russell Cicerone did miss the penalty against Lexington last time out. The yellow card is presented by Continental Cards. Nyangabiri, insult to injury, he'll have to play on the caution for presumably a pretty extended run of time. And Tampa take aim, looking for the early opener. Dolabella scores! Silk smooth, and Pedro Dolabella opens it up for Tampa Bay 1-0.
That's a good penalty from Dolabella, because Bandre's gone the right way. And when you tuck it in the corner, even when the keeper picks the right direction, it's because you've hit it hard and hit it well. Here again, just have a look at Nyangabiri there. His right arm is out, and does Dolabella go down a little bit easy? Perhaps, but you put that situation there. Look at that power. It's the pace of that ball that beats the goalkeeper. Bandre choosing right and comes ever so close. It'll give us a better idea of how close the goalkeeper came to making a save there. We were just talking about how Loudoun concede way more than they should. That's another example of shooting yourself in the foot.
Pedro Dolabella. And it's another goal for Tampa Bay. That's his 3rd of the year. And when you take a penalty like this, you know this as a goalkeeper. That's the spot that's hardest to save one. Just passed into that bottom corner.
And he was frustrated, Ethan Bandre, because he picked right and he had a good dive. He was literally inches away from getting on the end of that. I guess Nyangabiri could say, well, if I hadn't have tried to stop Dolabella, he would have scored anyway. But I think you have to let that happen. Maybe the goalkeeper makes a save. Maybe the header's not good. In the end, he took a risk, hoped the referee wouldn't see it as a foul, and unfortunately for him, referee Denny Kalusanak decided it was a pen and a yellow card.
And we've seen this all across the league for about a month at this point. Hydration break currently unfolding now, halfway, just about played through this first half. Possibly could be an injury in lieu of the penalty kick. Didn't quite catch who that was, but nonetheless, there's a chance for Loudoun to try and rack their brains about how violently the game just changed on them. They were bright in the early going, and Tampa Bay, from that point on, just continued to enforce their dominance. May have been Ethan Bandre who was nursing a bit of a knock there, which, given the point made earlier about the lack of goalkeeping depth for Loudoun, could be massively instructive as to how this goes the rest of the way.
Just looking at Jamali Waite there, he's made 2 good saves, and the way this match has gone, they've both had chances. One goalkeeper's made 2 or 3 really good saves there, Jamali Waite, and they've taken their goals when they've come, and they've even had a goal disallowed, Tampa Bay. And Loudoun, on the other hand, have given away a penalty and not taken their chances. At the end of the day, that's all about the quality of the players, the ability of the players to perform under pressure. And no question that Dom Casciato has put together a fantastic side here in Tampa Bay Rowdies who can cope with that pressure.
Loudoun will have to dig deep here today. Everything that you were already saying about this being a potential momentum swing game for Loudoun United. If they are to get something off of Tampa, it gets even more so amplified because of the adversity now.
And they're chasing games again. I mean, they went 1-0 down against Pittsburgh. They went 1-0 down against Sporting Jacks just before halftime. Went 1-0 down against Charleston Battery and lost that 4-1. So, you know, at some point as a coach and as players, you want to score the first goal and at least feel there's a little bit of breathing room. Instead, they're having to chase the game every single game.
Akinyote had to keep his composure. A lot of places to go with the ball there. Forson flipping it wide. Bringing the press forward. Massel Forson now away by Waite. The ball go out over the touchline.
He's raised his arm for offside, perhaps. Anthony Limbrick not happy. You can understand why. It's frustrating for him to watch this game after game. He was saying to us, it's the same script. His team plays well. They do a lot of good things. They just don't score as many as they should, and they concede more than they should, which defines what soccer's all about. Sure. Coaches will talk to you and say it's about the 2 boxes. It's about scoring, and it's about not conceding. And clearly it's not working in either box for Loudoun United at the moment. That could all change.
Ostrom invited forward. Got underneath the studs of MD Myers. Off the back heel. Splash of skill there. Abukua. Got to get him more involved. He has almost always been able to punish Tampa Bay when he's been up against them. Scored in both affairs a year ago. Also had an assist. That was a tantalizing touch from Jan Gabiri. Doesn't look like he's been deterred at all by his mishap moment only instance ago. Giving up the penalty and giving up the yellow card. How to play for a throw. Wua, one of the mainstays in this Loudoun team, one of only 2 players to play every minute this year. Him and Akinyote. Illinson. Wua in field. Skips out of the tackle of Lewis Hilton. Now picks out Amen, who gets dragged back. The referee's not giving it this time. Lobbed in over the top. This could go from bad to worse for Loudoun. Akinyote will corral it. It certainly looked like there was a tug of the cloth inside the 18 on Amen.
And it's got to be something the referee is absolutely sure happened. We'll get a chance, hopefully, to see it again, but they get to see it once in real time. And because the penalty is 80% chance of goal, you can only give it if you really know it's been a proper tug on somebody's shirt.
Marching on undeterred, unable to round the corner there was Abukura. He was shoved down. I'm not quite sure what the rule is there. He was outside the field of play when the contact happened, but was inside the width of the 18-yard box. Matters not now. Akinyote. No advantage presenting, and the referee will stop play. It's starting to fizz up a little bit, partner.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's getting a bit chippy there for Loudoun. Frustration growing high. Now, here's the spot. Let's have a look in the box. Can we see anything that Ooh, there's a tiny tug coming from Yannis Lehrman of all people. I don't think it's long enough and sustained enough to be a penalty, and that's probably why the referee hasn't given it.
Young Kabiri carving it across. Hammond arriving to apply enough pressure to force Seba Cruz to put it on a play. I think that's the right assessment from you. No penalty there. Did seem that Hammond had every chance to continue playing the ball and chose not to, maybe. Corner kick coming for Loudoun United. They've had 7 separate corner takers this year. Honors belonging to their main man, Abdulatif Abukora now.
This is a Loudoun United corner kick.
Loudoun looking to draw even on Mosquito Nick's corner kick. Hooked away. Falling to Ammon, who recycles. Abukora. A duck and a dart gets the better of Seba Cruz. Lewis Hilton had the reading the whole way. That's a man who's seen a thing or two. And again, Loudoun just allowing Tampa Bay to break through the pressure pretty easily there.
Yeah, Tampa Bay doing well with their defending, a good header one at the near post, and then Seba Cruz gets out, sprints out there to close down the wide man for Loudoun. It's just good quality play all round, and again, they're not top of the table for no reason. They're just doing everything the best way possible, you know, in the USL, and they're the best example. I'm sure a lot of coaches around the country watch Tampa Bay Rowdies games afterwards and say, what do we learn? What are they doing that we can do? They just seem to do everything the right way.
It's so true. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of talent on this Tampa Bay team. Nobody is going to mince words when it comes to that. But the reason why they've been able to do what they've done this year is focus on details, and that is the measure of the caliber of coach Dom Casciato is. And if there's a way that they can make themselves into a better team, more impactful team, Tampa Bay is maximizing it, even down to the effect that they've scored 3 goals from throw-ins this year, which is top of the league. Lofted by Lehrman. Shuffled into the top of the box for Conway! Off the post, still there! Redirected and wide. It is teasingly close for Tampa Bay, but still 1-0 somehow.
Evan Conway, his first touch. Look how he controls this ball when it comes in. Touch, touch, hit. I mean, it's a save. I think Ethan Bundre's got a hand on that. Let's have a look at it again. Touch, touch, hit. They're standing off him as well, which they shouldn't do. Got to get a little bit closer. And there's a shot that goes wide. But I think the original shot, it looked like Ethan Bundre got a good hand on that, in which case Evan Conway's been able to turn and get it just inside the post.
Just returning to the details point to take it one step further as Bandre flies one directly out of play. The runner's on. We're in the perfect places to get the rebound with Cruz following it up, winning all those small areas. Tune to the CBS Sports Network on Wednesday, July 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern for a Western Conference Championship showdown. Surging Lexington SC face battle-tested Oakland Roots SC on field for a tussle for valuable points. Catch all the action again on the CBS Sports Network on July 22nd. Of course, Tampa know exactly how hot Lexington have been of late, but that said, losses in the Cup. I know you called that game against Louisville City, and they got thrashed at home the other night against New Mexico. Whole league's wide open. Anybody can beat anybody.
Absolutely. I was so surprised by that Lexington defeat at home, because the way they won against Tampa Bay at Al Lang, you're thinking, wow, what a victory. And yes, they did have a lot of defending to do. That is true. But then they go and get beat at home by New Mexico 4-1. I'm thinking, where did that come from? And then, as you say, the hammering by Lou City as well. So 8 goals conceded in 2 matches after beating Tampa Bay. One of only 2 losses they've sustained all season. It's hard to read what happens from week to week, but I think your point's a valid one. There's so many good teams. This league is so tight that if you're off one day, if you just don't quite perform, you can get badly hurt.
I mean, you've been around the league for a couple years at this point. Have you ever seen the quality and caliber this close across the board?
No, it's got better every year. I've been doing it now for nearly 6 years. And initially there was a couple of 2 teams. New York Red Bulls had a 2-side, DC United, Loudoun was
These
a
guys were,
2-side. Yeah, there was about 4 or 5 of the teams. LA Galaxy, LAFC had 2 sides. So there was a lot of those teams, and slowly they've left, and now you've been replaced by teams whose sole job is to win games, not to develop players, and it's just got better every year.
Leading the pack this season are these Tampa Bay Rowdies. MD Myers can't make it stick. Akinyode will clean it up for Loudoun.
Also the quality of player coming in from abroad, from outside. If you look at the number of international players that go away every weekend, or not every weekend, whenever they're called.
Cicerone, one of the old war horses, rounding the corner. It stays on momentarily, and somehow that's a goal kick. I'm thinking they're lucky stars.
Especially if Cicerone gets in the box, that is asking for trouble as well. It's hard when you've got to defend against him and against MD Myers and Evan Conway, because each one is so capable in their own right. But just to finish that story, whenever there is an international weekend, there's a bunch of players who leave the USL Championship to go and play for their countries, the likes of Jamaica and some of the nearby islands, etc. And so the quality is there, it really is. The money being paid obviously has improved. And it's a proper league. And of course, in 2 years' time, we get a new USL.
Absolutely.
And we get relegation promotion, which is going to be super exciting.
You mentioned the internationals. We will check in with Eloy Room at halftime. Chance to visit with him and his exploits at the World Cup. Have the whole world talking about his performance in the group phase and all the saves that he made.
Look at this press coming from Tampa Bay Rowdies here. They've pushed their numbers up to make life difficult for Loudoun, who've so far managed to play through that press. And now go and give the ball away.
It's on for Tampa Bay again, and then it's not. The referee has intervened. Denny Klasenak has been a busy boy today.
Well, there'll be plenty more still to come in this match, I'm sure.
This is what you want, though. Loudoun are desperate. They're playing like it. And it's brought the best kind of performance out of Tampa Bay. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. The grassroots of the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com. Latest product specials and more. Select, Gary, I'm told it's the player's choice. Abukura. Oh, lovely ball in behind, and just not enough backspin on it. Not a lot of guys with the quality to even try that.
The idea is good, but as you say, the quality's got to be perfect to get that ball in there. Anthony Limbrick trying to offer some suggestions to his team. Another stat that's worth considering is the goal difference. Again, that's another measure of, a bit of a general measure, but nonetheless a measure of how teams are doing. For Tampa Bay Rowdy, it was plus 12 coming to this, and now it's sitting at plus 13. And for Loudoun, it was minus 11, so it's now minus 12. So again, there's a minus 25 difference between the two teams. And so one scores a lot and doesn't concede, the other doesn't score much and concedes a lot. It's just very basic. And yet, and you said it earlier, there's a lot of talent in Loudoun. You wouldn't think the level of talent between these two sides is 25 goals different. You wouldn't. You'd think it's 5 or 6 goals maybe in favor of Tampa Bay, maybe 10, but 25 goals just shows you that the season hasn't got going for Loudoun.
Yongapiri is chopped out. Max Schneider is not shy for a fight. And he's left the leg out. Yellow card to come. Set the single season record last year in USL League One with 15. Currently heading into this one, and that, in fact, conceded more fouls than anybody, and here's another.
To the Tampa Bay Rowdies, number 23, Max Schneider.
Interesting, Max Schneider. When he put his leg out there, he kept it out. You thought once he didn't get the ball, he would have pulled it in the hope that it wasn't obvious, but he left it there as if he was almost making a point. And that's probably what got the yellow card.
He's committed nearly 20 more fouls than anybody else on this Tampa Bay roster. Oddly enough, though, very rarely gets sent off. Almost kind of like an enforcer in the middle of the park. Break up the tempo, and he does so there. He has yielded a free kick to Loudoun. Waits up for it and catches it clean.
Again, not good service. And see what, not only is it not good service, now there's a counter-attack. Now Loudoun have to get all their bodies back, and when you're putting the ball in the box here, you can't knock it straight into the keeper's hands. It's got to be better service and quicker. That was floated. It gives the keeper time. You want to whip it in at a medium height so the keeper can't come and get it. He doesn't want someone to get in front of him, so he'd rather stay. Again, the quality of these final balls for Loudoun is just not there yet.
Akinyode. Salmaz Ferrell. Only point of difference in this, a Pedro Dolabella penalty kick. Coming just beyond the 20th minute. Loudoun have had a couple moments of intrigue. Jamali Waite, a pair of outstanding saves in the early going, and they've all but had the offense try out from that point on. Hooked away by Dos Santos, Cicerone. Yonkabiri. He's been flying in for the tackle, and it's a throw-in for Tampa Bay.
Got some noise coming from the crowd and the Loudoun bench. They thought it was their throw-in, but referee decides otherwise. But you mentioned Jamali Waite there, and he made two very good saves early on, and it tends to get forgotten. But one of those goes in, and this could have been a totally different game in so many ways. So once again, the goalkeeper Jamali Waite playing a huge part in this match so far.
It's been the small margins again. Hate to be a broken record, but when the truth is right in the front of your face, it's hard to avoid it. Out for a throw. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. Maybe you saw a World Cup game and the kids were interested or something to that effect. Wanted to get the friend group out for a day at the pitch. Now's the time to do it. Best way to is to support your local. Scuttled away. Ostrom knocks it off course. And leading the break is the long legs of Pedro Dolabella. It's a 4v4 if Tampa go quick. Schneider on the twist. Lost his footing. It's like running into a slab of granite when engaged in the tackle with Bolu Akinyode. Good turn by Amin, who overpowers the pass, but it's because he was interfered with. Foul to come.
Little tug from Evan Conway on the shirt. Again, if it's a small, quick tug, it's a free kick. If it's a long one, it becomes egregious, and then it's a yellow card. He just gives a quick tug there just to put the player off. Now, can they do something before halftime? So important if you can. You go in that locker room with a whole different energy if you've managed to level the game up as far as Loudoun are concerned.
Murphy. Spilling wide. Ammon again. Good block. Seba Cruz, the one who put himself in front. Been mostly used as a midfielder this year, but of course, his background in USL League One last year with AV Alto was primarily at fullback. Not taking any chances heading that one away. Abukura. Definitely played for Murphy, who returns it wide, down by Awua. Final action just a touch off the beat. Watch the USL on ESPN2 July 25th for a championship matchup. Teams battling for conference points as Detroit City FC aims to keep its top four standing in the East. They win over Las Vegas Lights, fighting to stay in the mix in a very tightly packed Western Conference. That is Saturday, July 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern, again on ESPN2. Shuttle to handle. Farson will at least inspect the situation. It's given away. Gathered by Murphy. Akinyode dispatching for Abukura. Darting forward is Awua. Guiding in with the cross, nodded away by Dos Santos. Youngabiri. Andy Meyer stretching, try and meet the ball. Just gets there a little late as Erlandson gets it off his toes. Abukura thrust ahead again. Amin. Tampa Bay making it so tough to find where the actual dangerous space is. Loudoun basically having to do almost everything in the final third. 1 or 2 touches.
It's that final ball in the box. It has to be a perfect ball. Olfarson's been free at the far post a few times, but no one's been able to lift their head and deliver the cross that he needs.
It's what you said before the game. The service has been the missing thing for him in this drought of goal scoring, not necessarily his efficiency in front of the net. Driving ahead is Erlandson. A late arriving run. Farson had picked out the near post when the ball was coming to the back one.
But that's a poor pass to knock across the box. You've only got one player in there, Farson. It has to go to him. Instead, it gets whacked to the end of the box and there's nobody there.
Clean obtaining of the ball, or maybe not. The linesman was on that side, and it looked like the referee looked over for verification before making the ultimate ruling, one that man Dom Casciato was not very content with. We are now into 2 minutes of Novak stoppage time, and the first action of that will be a free kick.
Is there a handball? Have a look here. There was a little handball to stop the ball. So I think it is the right decision. Although, can you claim it was accidental? That could also be the argument. In the end, the ref makes a decision, and you live with it.
Here comes Rosario Gandara and Miklos Hendricks, the linos today. Pavel Georgiev is the 4th official. And Abukura, Abdul Latif to be precise, is over top this dead ball. Loudoun leveling their gaze on goal. Late arriving run, flicked on, and Tamale Waite will grab it. Some claims for handball.
Now this is good service. It's whipped in, and it goes to the far post. Player gets free, knocks it back in. Yes, it goes to the keeper. It could have gone almost anywhere. He's put it right in the danger area. And that tested Tampa Bay Rowdies, and once again, Tamale Waite coming to the rescue.
Max Schneider, summoning touch from him, and he gets Tampa Bay going. Another bump there, and that time the referee will leave the whistle in the garage. Not sure if it's a good mark of the level of officiating or a bad one, but nobody seems happy right now.
I think it's the mark of a very close game that is well fought and well battled here.
Speaking of which, Youngabiri popping up in the final third. Torres, Abukura, time and space, and slashed wide.
That's where you want Abukura on the edge of the box, as they said, playing in that number 10 role. Such a good striker of the ball. He wasn't far off there. Have a look at it again. Just moves to his right, opens up a bit of space, and just hooks it wide.
And that passing glance, a shot across the bow. Looks as if it might just be the last thing we see in this first frame. Halftime arrives in Virginia. A Pedro Dolabella penalty kick is the only thing that has blemished the score sheet. Tampa Bay taking the front foot into the dressing room. Much more to come here at halftime, which will be presented by Segra. But for now, it is Tampa Bay who are out in front on the table and on the day. The number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. A goal to the good out in front of Loudoun United here on the road. As mentioned, more halftime coverage coming up when we return here in Virginia.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
Here at the intermission, where halftime coverage is presented by Segra, and it's Tampa Bay who has set the rhythm and tempo for this game. Loudoun United needing to get all 3 points to propel a playoff push in the back half of the USL Championship season. First and foremost, though, we get a chance to visit with Eloy Room, Miami FC goalkeeper just returning from his antics at the World Cup. Take a peek.
He is the USL Championship player that took the World Cup by storm. Miami FC goalkeeper Eloy Room made history with his 15-save performance in Curaçao's scoreless draw with heavily favored Ecuador. A World Cup record in a 90-minute match. The reaction went viral. A worldwide cheer for a team's success despite the odds. But there are 2 coaches in South Florida that saw it coming.
I'm surprised because I know what is the level in the World Cup, but also I know Eloy, I see every day, so I know the level.
Christian Blanco is Miami FC's goalkeeper coach. His specialty is developing younger players, but Room is different. He is a 37-year-old veteran who played nearly 200 matches in the top Dutch league. A wealth of knowledge, even for a coach. Where does Eloy stand in all of the players you've worked with in your career, and how neat is this to be a part of this?
It's my first experience with the World Cup, man, you know. And for me, I'm so happy for that. It's a big challenge for me in the beginning, to right now. So I try to enjoy every training, every single moment, because I try to teach something to Eloy, but he teach me a lot too.
He's capable of directing everybody from behind, and not only on the field, also off the field.
Room is one of the shutout leaders in the USL Championship with 4. He is a big reason Miami is in the playoff conversation at the midway point of the season. A World Cup interruption is an honor. For now.
We are super happy for his performances in the World Cup, but we are super happy as well to have him back as soon as possible.
¡Vicente revancha, doctor! ¡Pero falta gol! ¡Estamos a esperar a un gol! ¿Hugo Sánchez? Sí, tira para adelante. ¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? ¡Súbete, ¡llegamos por fin! ¡Ay, bendito sea el chofer, doctor! Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Pasa al norte! A donde me dé la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso. ¡Listo, vamos!
This is your moment.
You ever just look at them and think, yeah, I'm doing all right.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
Pain
doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novak. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novak also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novak is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novak.com/save.
Halftime, rolling on here in Virginia. Loudoun United with work to do. Coming out of the dressing room against Tampa Bay Rowdies with the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm Peyton Kelleher. Chance to pick our head up and look out at the landscape in the USL Championship this weekend. Here's how things are shaping up. Looking forward here, as the upcoming schedule has so many mouth-watering fixtures to sink the teeth into. Specifically, as we talked about earlier, that Lexington-Oakland game on CBS Sports Network is one to pay attention to. And then that Phoenix Rising-Monterey Bay game tonight, really interesting. Phoenix stumbling a little bit. Monterey Bay on the updraft with Alex Cavello pressing all the right buttons there. Anything get your attention here, Gary?
I think every game does, because it means so much at this stage of the season. If Monterey Bay keep playing well, they could still make the playoffs. Miami, they're on the edge as well. And if you have a couple of good games, maybe it's going to be a great end of the season. Conversely, for Lexington, if you let it slip after that wonderful win against Tampa Bay, you drop out of that race for the top 8. So Las Vegas Lights can still come good. I don't know. You can pick anyone, and it'll be a great game to watch.
No doubt, and that has been true so far today. How about that game on CBS? 3 goals in 3 minutes for Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Trevor Ammon against Louisville City, the reigning champs, finding big result there. And then Jacksonville, who hadn't won a game all year, gets this draw against Loudoun 2-2 a couple weekends ago. Then they win against Pittsburgh, and they're well off to a second consecutive win against Brooklyn. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's been coming for a while, because when they drew 2-2 against Loudoun a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, that they looked very good. When they really were a quality side, and they deserved their draw. So we were saying at the time, the Sporting Jack side is not as bad as they look in the table, and wow, maybe even better. Well done to them.
As for what else is going on in the league, we'll check in with Dan Lucas now for a glance at all the big action in the USL. 1-0 is our score here at the break.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. We'll get you back out to your match shortly. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with the headlines. Before the USL Cup group finales last weekend, Hartford Athletic hosted Orange County. Now in that match, Hartford's Michi Galina assisted on this goal. That's his 30th career assist, putting him in rare company. Galina is the 9th member of the championship's 45-goal, 30-assist club. Hartford Athletic was one of 6 championship clubs to advance to the quarterfinals of the USL Cup. Louisville City led all teams with 12 goals scored in the group stage, and 2 Louisville players finished in the top 2. Jansen Wilson with 5, Chris Donovan with 3. And those USL Cup quarterfinals will take place on Wednesday, August 12th. Tampa Bay hosts Louisville City. Charlotte will host Hartford Athletic. Spokane welcomes Colorado Springs, and San Antonio will host Miami FC. Upcoming national spotlight games. Next Wednesday, Oakland Roots at Lexington SC on CBS Sportsnet and 2DN. Then next Saturday, Detroit City hosts Las Vegas Lights on ESPN2. San Antonio hosts Indy 11 on the 31st on CBS Sports Net. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novak. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novak also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novak is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novak.com/save.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novak. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novak also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novak is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novak.com/save.
Highlights of half number one here in Loudoun, the home side, were the ones that were throwing the early punches against Tampa Bay Rowdies.
That's a good save from Jamali Waite. Absolutely brilliant there from Richard Ullman coming out wide on that left-hand side. And then he goes and takes that risk. The goalkeeper gets away with it, just.
Nyongabiri stepping in and almost able to unlock a second chance before Tampa Bay would scramble to life and get rid of it. But it was Loudoun that were really pressing all the buttons in the early going and making Tampa quite uncomfortable. Nothing was easy for them. Sadiq Nyongabiri, the former Rowdy man, almost getting the penalty call there. Then on into the 21st minute, this is where it would go pear-shaped for Loudoun United.
Yeah, there's no attempt to play the ball there from Nyongabiri, and the penalty's given. Dolabella, the goalkeeper picks the right way, so it's a good penalty from Dolabella as Ethan Bandry just gets faintest of fingertips to that ball before it goes into the back of the net.
Tampa Bay tightening their grip from that point on into the 32nd minute. Be them again with another close call, this time Evan Conway.
And there I do think the goalkeeper made a save. It hits the post ultimately. Evan Conway, great. One touch, set it up, hit. I mean, that is quality then. So close to a second goal for Tampa Bay.
They've just been so decisive, the Rowdies, in that final phase. And although the stats favor Loudoun, that largely is why we're looking at a Tampa side that had the lead here.
Yeah, the stats don't really tell you what's going on. Tampa Bay, they look more solid in defense. They look more dangerous in attack. They've got a higher expected goal, but not by much. So it shows you Loudoun have created chances. They're just not taking them, and that's been the story for Loudoun in both boxes.
Back out to the live pictures now, and Loudoun have a lot of distance to cover. It looks like the Rowdies are going to make a couple changes in preparation for what this 45 minutes will require of them. Chiefly among them, Luis Perez coming on. Loudoun will make a change as well, as Nyongabiri sitting on that caution will come out. We will see Andre Super stepping in. Likely will force, I would imagine, Christian Torres back to fullback. Super, a more centrally minded midfielder. Evan Conway, the one making way for Tampa Bay. Luis Perez, a longtime veteran in this division, 3 goals this year so far for Tampa as a bit of a spot starter. Made his debut against Loudoun United back in 2021 for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Started the last 8 league games in a row. Coming off the bench here today. Taken short to Super. Off the corner kick, Abukura. Super in with the reading of it. Here's Jamali Way. He's alive to the flight on its full duration.
Good goalkeeping again. Read that so well. It's a dangerous ball in the box, but the goalkeeper just kills all the danger with one good reading of the ball.
Also Cicerone triggering the transition. It's a throw in for Loudoun. Jamali Way, #1 goalkeeper for Tampa Bay, coming over from El Paso. You'd say, yeah, 6 clean sheets, but behind this defense, he's not having too much to do, but posting a career best save percentage this year as well, 72.2%. Even he has been elevated by his role in this Tampa Bay program and project.
Well, we saw in those highlights, he made 2 very important saves in that first half. He read that cross superbly well. When you've got a goalkeeper who does that for you at the back for Tampa Bay, it just allows you to survive pressure and then come out, and when you've got MD Myers at the other end, you score goals. And there's a penalty, one that Dolabella tucked away. Cicerone's there. So on the one end, you're giving teams very little. On the other end, you've got quality finishers. It's a perfect combination that Dom Casciato's put together here.
Also Cicerone brings out the party tricks. Cicerone screams one high. He can still do it at his young age of 32.
There's some great dribbling there. Just have a look here. Beats 1, beats 2, sets up, and then leans. As he's hitting it, he's leaning backwards, which is why he's frustrated with himself. Just got a little bit off balance there when he hit that shot.
Second all-time in USL Championship history for take-ons with 755. Dribbly boy indeed. Max Schneider pirouettes away from the first wave of pressure and nearly gave it back. Seba Cruz was happy to watch it go. It has really, from the moment the goal was scored, Tampa patiently waiting for those moments where they can trigger the transitional moments, as Dos Santos found himself in a bind and had to throttle it out of touch.
Just to show you how close the game was in the first half, expected goals is just below 1 for Loudoun, just above 1 for Tampa Bay Rowdies. There's not a lot in it. Again, it just comes to the quality of the players to take their chances when it comes, or to defend really well, which Jamali Waite and the Tampa Bay Rowdies have been able to do.
In for Akinyode, the big man, goes early. Waite will catch it easy. Taking one step further with that point about the XG for Tampa Bay. Just the efficiency, about 0.7 of that is just the penalty kick, which they scored. Loudoun have had more chances. They've had a higher volume of the good ones. They've yet to have that clinical edge, and their opponent almost always shows up with it.
You have to go back to that MD Myers goal being disallowed.
Sure.
That was a touch and go decision. They get one little half chance, Tampa Bay, and then they've got every ability to finish it.
Into the back post. Necessary intervention by Christian Torres, who had tracked that last man run. It's a corner. Rowdies right where they want to be as Perez prepares for this Mosquito Knicks corner kick. Anxiety in the air here in Leesburg. Over the head of the goalkeeper, didn't get a touch. Andy Myers, that is some stuff. Ethan Bandre puts himself right into the fray and flashes the gloves to keep it 1-0.
Brave save from the goalkeeper. He struggled with the ball coming over, doesn't get a punch on it. Then he recovers very quickly and very bravely to block that one.
That was absolutely pelted on the half volley by MD Myers. Fear is not an emotion that's afforded to goalkeepers. So too will be the case here. Max Schneider. Another good delivery. This time late to it, and it has deposited into the bottom corner. The referee will have a choice to make. What's his word? Disallowed.
I think the goalkeeper punched it onto a Tampa Bay Rowdies player and straight in, so I'm not quite sure what it's for. It can't be offside initially from the corner, obviously. So let's have a look. Ball comes in, Bundre gets a punch, punches it into one of the players and goes in the net. Was there a foul? There's some pushing and pulling going on around there, but...
What if Luis Perez, who was behind the goalkeeper in the mix of that, was the man who was offside? They are giving offside. That is the word from the referee. Now, Perez, I'm not sure if he even touched it, but considering there is no video-assisted referee, there will be no review of this. This is the final ruling.
It's very interesting. I mean, sometimes you go out of play, you get bumped out of play.
Sure.
And if you're not interfering, that can sometimes be allowed. Now, they've come back to discuss it, and maybe that's what they're feeling, is that this is a fair goal. Maybe we can see it again and just have another look as to what's going on. Anthony Limbrick is not happy. Referee's trying to get an explanation from the assistant ref as to what he saw and why he thought it should be offside.
The referee didn't initially make the call, and then he looked over to the lineout. Once the linesman had communicated that he thought it was offside, that's when the ruling came. That's why Tampa Bay were already off and celebrating. You know how he feels.
So they're sticking with the offside ruling. Very interesting. And they did seem to be pointing to players going on and off the pitch. Let's have a look again. Look on the line and let's just see if we can spot something. Number 13. But then there was also a player from Loudoun who was off the pitch, and oh, it touches his leg. Do you see that touch his leg?
Mm-hmm. And because he was behind the goalkeeper, it doesn't matter.
Yes,
there was
offside.
a last offender. Yeah, it's offside. What a call.
Wow. Eagle eyes from the assistant ref there, but it was touched in an offside position. If he could have got out the way, Luis Perez, it probably would have been a goal because he wasn't interfering. He was, you know, on the line and behind the goalkeeper.
That is now twice Tampa Bay have effectively had a goal disallowed. That time, a lot less controversy, you would imagine, than the first one from MD Myers in the first half. That is some piece of officiating.
Got to go back to the goalkeeper, though, Ethan Bundre. That's two corners back-to-back that he hasn't dealt with. The one, he didn't get a punch yet to come and make a brave save. And the second one, he gets a punch, punches it down into somebody's head, and was ever so lucky that wasn't a goal.
Tampa Bay do have the scent, though. They're hunting in packs and really putting the pedal to the metal. Dos Santos. Service back to Jamali Way.
Again, the pressure coming from Tampa Bay. They've got the goal. Penalty given away. Why? Because they're in the box. It's good service. And it just forced Yongaberry to give the penalty away. And then they have two goals disallowed. The first one I thought wasn't the right decision. Second one looks like it was a very good decision. But it's just pressure coming from Tampa Bay on the road. And if they can leave here without losing, they have a record of 7 matches. Is it 8 matches? 7 is where they are at the moment. It would be 8 games without defeat on the road. I mean, that's really impressive, and a new Rowdies record.
Already picked up more points on the road this year than they did all of last year. They only won 4 games away from home a season ago. 17 points compared to 14 points last season. And that is the mark of a very mature and focused team. especially with the fortress that Al Lang typically has been.
Yep.
And this is all popping off now. Sal Mazzaferro says we. Yellow card. And it seemed like it might be coming to Dom Casciato. There were a couple of spiky moments in the first half.
This is all much to do about nothing. He's on the ground here. What does Mazzaferro do? Pushes him and then gets on his back somehow. But of course, it's all part of intimidating each other, trying to get someone to overreact and head out and maybe get a card or a red card in particular. It's all part of the game, and as a professional, you've just got to keep yourself calm. Managers don't necessarily have to keep themselves as calm because they don't get sent off. It doesn't affect what goes on in the game. But as players, you've got to take a deep breath sometimes because you can then just overreact and do something silly.
Max Schneider, the only player actively on a booking that's on the field right now.
A continental card, yellow card has been issued in the
Do think that they gave a handball there in that instance that got Dom Casciato a little bit hot under the collar, which I always do appreciate when a player just falls on the ball after a little bit of contact and tries to force a call out of the referee by stopping the play. If there's no foul, just call handball. He put his hands on it.
Exactly, yeah. They do that very cleverly, players. They fall, they touch, they handball it, so the referee either has to give a handball and a yellow card, which is a big decision.
Sure.
Or just give the free kick to the player who fell down, which is the easier decision.
Abukura not on the same page with the infield, Richie Emmett. Kwame Ewua. We did talk to Anthony Limbrick about how he might try and find ways to get Kimi Ordonez onto the field at the same time as Thorol Forson. It is how they started against Pittsburgh in the Cup. Is that a lever that you would pull in this final half hour?
Well, he said they struggle to both play up front because they're both number 9s and they get in each other's way. So, you know, if you are putting in a number 9, who are you going to take off? You've got to look at Richard Ullman out wide as they give the offside there. Maybe Pedro Santos is on the bench. You bring in someone with a lot of experience for Loudoun United, maybe to help them find the gaps in the Tampa Bay Rowdies defense. There are definitely options for Anthony Limbrick, and for Dom Casciato, I think it's just more about bringing on fresh legs. He's got quality players on the bench, but he's got some really good players out on the pitch. So I think when they show some tiredness, he'll just refresh things. For Anthony Limbrick, it's more about how do we change the way this match is going. This is more tactical, not just about bringing fresh legs on.
It does feel like the pitch is starting to tilt against them as the game goes on, which is not where you want to be as the team that's chasing. Touch along brilliantly. Looking for the cutback, driving to the end line. Into the ad boards it goes, and both of the forwards in the 18-yard box already committed to a run towards goal before it was delivered. Foul call. It was Ostrom who was driving away. The USL Championship in League One on the CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network, as well as ESPN Plus. Collision there, play on. Perez pivoting. There's still a Loudoun player down. If there's any suspect of a head injury, they have to stop it, and that's what happens. Looks like Jacob Erlandson. That's a player they can scarcely afford to lose, Loudoun.
The crowd are having their say as well. Lots of comments being thrown the referee's way.
Tell you this, Dom Casciato's got to be careful. He is one wrong word away from getting sent off. Here's another look.
It's MD Myers, just a good tackle made, and I think he is injured because the ball's right next to him and he makes no attempt to even get up and try and get that ball. I think it's a clash with MD Myers more than anything.
It's almost as if his head landed on the ball. Typically in those situations where a player goes down, the most dangerous spot for a head injury is the whiplash when you hit the pitch. Never quite seen a player have their head collide directly with the ball like that, though. It is the captain, Jacob Erlandson. Full 90s the last 2 games. Were his first since 8th, full 12th of last year. just getting back to full fitness, and necessarily so with how thin Loudoun are at center back because of the injuries. Bolu Akinyode can service there if necessary. Has so far this year Noah Adnan, another player that could moonlight in that capacity as well.
Dom Cosciotto just having a few words with his players, giving them some tips as to how to manage this match as we go into the final third of the game. 1-0 up away from home. And they've had 2 goals disallowed already, so they're a bit frustrated. Loudoun are frustrated because they haven't got a home win all season. 6 draws, 2 losses, so there's a lot of emotional energy out there on the pitch.
Ellenson is back up. If he had to come out of the game, both teams would get a 6th and extra substitute for the head injury. Loudoun have made the one change as well as Tampa Bay, both doing so at halftime. So each squad has 3 available substitution windows in addition to if a change has to happen here. Anthony Limbrick just making sure the pulse of his team is where he wants it.
I'm assuming he was asking Erlinson there if he's good to continue, and he got the thumbs up.
Perez, Hilton for the time being, Loudoun down to 10 men. And crucially, it's one of their center halves that's out of the game as they are under duress. Flipped on by Schneider, clipped away by Akinyode. Looks like Bolu is going to drop back into the back 4 for the time being. Seba Cruz, this is a pivotal point in the game as Erlinson comes back on. Tampa have been better closers than they have been starters this year. We're heading into that final stretch of the contest, and Tampa have been the league's top scorer inside the final 15 minutes. 9 goals for them. Final quarter hour of games this year. Also gotten 7 goals from substitutes this season.
Yeah, that's a big number coming off the bench. Substitutes playing a big role, but if your team's on the front foot, it makes it a bit easier. If you're attacking, if you're playing well, which Tampa Bay have been all season, it's great to come on as a sub. But a lot of goals to get from off the bench.
Laps down over the touchline. The intensity that Tampa play with, they have to have that kind of depth. Players that can make an impact in the rear guard action.
You've got the likes of Gino Vivi, came on in that match against Lexington when they were 3-0 down, and he pulled one back. Unfortunately, a golazo followed, and they ended up losing 4-1, but he brought them back into the game there.
You've not even mentioned Gennaro Nigro, who's back with the team, was one of the marquee signings in the offseason. Just made his debut last weekend in the Cup.
Yeah, good point. Very good player with the left foot. Carson Hendelong, who scored a goal in that FC Naples match. They can bring him on. Isaiah Lafleur looks good. So, yeah, some real quality that can come off the bench for Dom Cosciotto in this final 30 minutes.
Seba Cruz. There's been a couple Louisville City teams that have had this level of caliber all throughout the 24 in the squad. Check me if I'm wrong. If you have another offering, go ahead and say it. I can't remember any other squad being this deep.
As Tampa Bay's?
Yep.
Lou City, possibly?
Yep.
That's probably the nearest one I could think of.
Cicerone deposited infield. It was a good shot. Comes back to Cicerone. It's blocked by Oua. Looks like both Kimi Ordonez and Pedro Santos are being prepped and ready as Andy Myers is down. This one has taken a lot out of both teams. Been very physical in very hot conditions.
Number 21, Bolu Akinyode.
And again, it just proves the point that Loudoun are a good side. They're playing the top team in the USL. And here they are, you know, making a fist of it. It's a little bit unlucky that they didn't take some of their earlier chances, which Jamali Waite saved really well. So to the point, they're not a bad side. They just are not able to get the crucial goals when they need them or to defend well when they need to. And that's why they don't have a single home win this season out of 8 matches. This would be the 9th.
Only team in the division yet to win in front of their home fans, Loudoun. They have been very shaky on these corner kick deliveries. Tampa Bay sharpening the blade. Specifically, it's Luis Perez doing so. Ethan Bandre has gotten hemmed in on almost all of these corners and missed out on the timing to get a touch to it and get it away. Only been beaten by a penalty to date. Pushed in by Perez with in swing. And landed right at the top of the 6. Smuggled out by Loudoun, in by Lewis Hilton on a second entry. High header, still not scraped away yet. There's nearly some dazzling skill, but matters not now. It's Loudoun who are revving the engine. Abdulatif Abukora's got to get going. Abukora still on a run. Looks like he was laboring a little bit there in his attempt to ignite the counter. Ammon. Calvary fully set up at the edge of the 18. Sliding tackle. What's the word? It'll be a corner kick. Another piece of spotless defending by Seba Cruz. Here come the changes. Kimi Ordonez, his league-high 3 substitute goals on offer as he comes in, as well as the veteran Pedro Santos. Oldest player to ever play for Loudoun, oldest to play in the USL this year. Santos, the wily vet, has exactly 1/3 of this game to change the chorus. That substitution is presented by Segra. Kimi Ordonez offering his inspiration for this Mosquito Knicks corner kick. Near post ball, it was dangerous. It's down to Super who has a strike! And it's come off kilter, but it's because it was blocked.
That's better from Loudoun. A good ball in there from that corner. Caused a lot of problems for Tampa Bay. They couldn't clear it easily. Their best clearance was the edge of the box. And then Super has an effort which unfortunately was blocked for Loudoun.
Abukora's on side, sneaking in. Good ball, comes all the way through across the goal mouth. It will be a throw-in for Tampa Bay again. Loudoun just not focused enough in the final third.
That's a little bit of quality they're still looking for. Good ball played in there at the near post, and they nearly got somebody on the end of it, Loudoun.
For as rudderless as they have been in this chance creation stage of the pitch, you do still get the sense that every time Abdulatif Abukora touches the ball down there, they get a little bit uncomfortable down in the state of Florida. First real big decision by either manager in this contest. Ordonez whipping wide. Abukora left behind him, and the counter's on. I'm just a little bit slow to get back. Tormented by the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Max Schneider. Dos Santos. Team's leader in touches and passes, Nathan Dos Santos. First season with the club. Was with Charleston Battery the last couple of years. Putting together what looks like an all-league campaign to date. For a team that is fielding this center back partnership of him and Giannis Learman for the first time this year, not missed a stride. USL Championship and League One are on the CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for complete USL TV listings. Appreciate the politeness of the players. Let me finish that one this time.
Yeah, Tampa Bay would love to get a second goal because this could turn out to be a very tough last 20 minutes if it remains a 1-goal difference.
Cruz waiting forward, turning away at the end line. Myers, loose touch, and prodded out. Olu Akinyode. Dos Santos will keep it on. It has gone to script for Tampa Bay, and right on cue, out of play for a throw. But this is what they do. They get a goal, maybe a little bit against the run of play in the first half, and they just keep getting better and better with every turn of the clock.
Well, they're always looking for that second goal, and they've had 2 goals just allowed, so they never sit back, Tampa Bay. They keep chipping away.
Looks like Ordonez kind of gave up on that a little early. Maybe he thought he was offside.
But it could all change. I mean, there's just under 20 minutes left. If Loudoun get one, there's no reason why they can't get a second. They just need to get that breakthrough. They just haven't created quality chances. They've had a few little half chances with Jamali Wade has saved. They've mostly been from angles where the keeper can just stand big and block it. But really good chances they haven't had yet. But they showed against Sporting Jacks. They came late with 2 late goals, and good goals they were as well. So they certainly can score. It's whether they can score against this Tampa Bay Rowdies defense.
Seba Cruz needling ahead, uncontested. Cruz going for goal, it's blocked. Sal Mazzaferro waited for the last second to commit. Got his body in front, as Kwame Awuah struggling now.
Attention, Loudoun United fans. If your child is participating in Kids Kick after today's match,
that's a good block, because that shot was definitely on target from Seba Cruz. Right, here's the player you were asking for.
Off going is Max Schneider. That probably pushes Seba Cruz, you would think, into midfield. Gennaro Nigro, all-league level fullback, and was one of the biggest additions heading into this season. Schneider didn't look very content to be coming out of the game, went straight to the dugout.
I think with Nigro, he's very much a left-footed player, so does he replace Charlie Ostrom, and Ostrom goes to right back, and Seba Cruz goes in midfield? Whatever it is, we will find out soon.
The substitution took too long, so they're not going to allow it to be made here. I'm not sure if Max Schneider has come back out of the dugout, though. Dolabella. Believe this is Tampa down to 10 men. Twisting away as Dolabella. He's already got one. He's left that well too high, and now Gennaro Nigro can be introduced. Or maybe not. He's waited basically the whole season to make his league debut for Tampa Bay, so that's another couple seconds.
Interesting if Loudoun scored during this break, because taking too long to make a substitution is a pretty rare call, and to be down a man during that period is a disadvantage to Tampa Bay.
Seba Cruz is taking no prisoners regardless. In for Myers, going first time, really didn't have any other option.
Indy Myers was upset there. The ball got played to him. The runner didn't keep going. And that was expecting there from, was it Sebastian Cruz, who ran in there?
Right now it's Pedro Dolabella covering it right back. Old Farson up a cul-de-sac. Abukora is making the return run, goes down, and the referee knew what he was up to. Never had a chance to actually get to the ball, and because it remains live, we will wait for the substitution ever still. I think Jamali Wade may just boot this straight out of bounds. High into the sky and out of play for Torres. Now the change will be made finally. So there goes Gennaro Nigro. We'll see if he's at right back or left back. Ostrom does have the capacity to play on both sides if required.
And it looks like Seba Cruz has gone into midfield.
Into the box. Left behind, it looked like Russell Cicerone there. First touches for Gennaro Nigro in the colors in the league. Formerly of Las Vegas Lights. Ostrom.
Well, they've got him at right back, Nigro. A very much a left-footed player, so we'll see how that plays out.
Perez is the winger in front of him. So if they do want Nigro to cut in and invert a little bit, it will be up to Perez to provide the width. Into the Prinkstars USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on your screen to enter today. Big one for Tampa Bay in the first round. You get Louisville City. How about that? And they get into the box. Left wide. Shot coming. And skewed tall. Jacob Erlandson doing just enough to put the taker off. Russell Cicerone.
Expect better from Russell Cicerone there. There's a little bit of an angle, but you've got to work the goalkeeper. Andy Mars upset at the far post. He wanted a cross in there, or at least a shot, and the goalkeeper palmed the ball out for Andy Mars to follow up. Russell Cicerone is such a good striker that every time he gets in those positions, I would expect him to get his shot on target.
They switched off. Awua's in behind. Ordonez waiting in the gap. Kimi Ordonez with a take on Ordonez, saved. Jamali White has been the best man on the Tampa Bay side today. And he turns Loudoun back once more.
Yeah, quite right about that when it comes to the best player, Jamali White. I think he has been the star of the show. So many important saves that keep this clean sheet. And maybe it will be the penalty that separates the two teams, a penalty that maybe shouldn't have been given by Yongaberry. That's again, would be a tough pill to swallow for Loudoun. They haven't created enough great chances. That was probably one of the better ones there that Jamali White just saved.
I was going to ask you earlier how you might go about fashioning more impactful moments inside the box if you're Loudoun. It looks like Ordonez is not playing next to Ulfarsson. He is playing left wing right now. How do you feel about that?
Well, if he gets chances to score, then I don't mind where they play. It's just can they get the service? He got a good ball in there, Ordonez, and he was able to use it well. And if you play two up front, I don't see why they should get in each other's way. If one plays more to the right, one plays more to the left, they should be able to keep enough distance between them.
Good piece of interplay. Nigro bounces right off the tackle. Leaves it centrally for Perez. Super left the leg out. Advantage being played. It didn't present on the cross. And there's a foul called and a chance to look back at exactly how close Loudoun were a moment ago.
The ball played back for Ordonez. That's the clever bit there. He opens up some space. Tight angle, so you would expect the keeper to save it from there. But it certainly is asking questions of Jamali White, and then it's cleared nice and quickly by Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Ulfarsson was calling for it. Maybe just made that run a little bit early. And it's another set piece. Again, Loudoun have conceded 7 headed goals this year. That's the second most in the division. It is so often just a question of mentality on these dead balls. Dos Santos struggling a little bit. Can't lose him. There are only 2 fit center backs on this roster today. The man you would go to first to deputize there, Max Schneider, is already out of the game. Perez going for goal. He's left it high. Another missed moment by Tampa Bay to put this one away.
It is. He had a whole bunch of bodies at the far post. If you whip it into the far post and you overbend it, it becomes a shot on target. But he goes near post instead. Doesn't even trouble the goalkeeper.
Sal Mazzaferro is off. Sean Young is on. More of a midfielding background, so likely this will mean Bolu Akinyoti fully shifts back into the back four. A little bit more ball playing. Akinyoti has given the ball back. And taken out by Pedro Dolabella. Gennaro Nigro. Again, Tampa have scored 3 throw-ins this year, so they're even lethal on these. To the end line. Myers carving in. Obstructing the flight was Bolu Akinyoti. Up towards Ulfarsson, who's hardly touched the game in the second half.
That's the one thing Dom Casciato said. He fears 2 players, Ulfarsson and Abukura, and he said the best way to stop them hurting you is to make sure they don't get service, and pretty much that has been the case in this match so far.
Even when Abukura's picked up the ball, and almost always has exclusively felt like it's come outside the width of the 18. Nigro does not seem he's lost anything of a step. Been sharp right from the outset. Now he's making the run. Released by Hilton. And a step shy of it is Gennaro Nigro. And away. Hilton gobbles it back up for Tampa Bay. Dotted inside. Cruz laid off. Flown out of harm's reach by Loudoun. Can they piece something together in transition? Pedro Santos running at Ostrom. Needs a half yard. Into the box. Ordonez saved. The rebound is there. Thor Ulfarsson hammers it in to make it 1-1 late on, and Loudoun have life.
And that came because of Ordonez getting in the box, and for the second time in a few minutes he's turned. He's got a good shot on target. Nothing more Jamali Wade can do than make the save, and the ball comes straight out to Ulfarsson. He's got pretty much an empty net to finish it off, but look at the work. Pedro Santos gets this thing going. And look there, he turns, gets past his marker and gets a good shot on. Jamali Wade can't do much there, and Luis Perez there for Tampa Bay, just getting turned in the box. And that's a little moment they've been looking for, Loudoun United. Good save from the keeper. Nothing more he could have done there. Makes the save, pushes it out, Ulfarsson. Right position, right time, and they're back in this match.
Then ends his longest goalless drought since joining up with Loudoun. Hadn't scored in 4. He scored against them in Florida. He scores against them in Virginia. And that might be a season-saving goal in some respects for Loudoun United, especially if they can push on and win it now. Are you content with a point if you're Loudoun at this point, or do you continue to extend almost as if you're trailing to try and get all 3?
I think you have to go for the win because they're 8 points off a playoff spot. Even a win here today, they're still 5 points off. And we haven't even seen the other teams around them and what they're doing in terms of points. So, yeah, you have to go for the win at home as well. But then I don't think Tampa Bay will sit back either.
Coasted in by Dolabella. They have not lost consecutive games under Dom Casciato. Appointed midway last season. In fact, you can go back further than that. It's been 37 matches since they lost 2 straight. Body down in the box, the referee not having it. Bolu Akinyote's got to be careful. He's already on a yellow with some less than wise words for his opponent.
Yeah, it did seem a little bit of a flop in the box, didn't it? An appeal to the referee for a penalty. Referee not interested at all.
It does feel like the bar raises a little bit when a referee's already given 1 to a team. Our goal scorers today, Pedro Dolabella from the spot in the first half, just about at the 20th minute. Most recently, Thor Ulfarsson collecting the pieces on a rebound to make it 1-1, just past the 80th. Again, typically it's Tampa Bay that are the team that are scoring the late goals, leading the league in that department inside the final quarter hour. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus your live matches, the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. And it looks like we're having some discourse in the here and now. Yellow card's been shown.
I think it's on MD Mars. I think he was late on the tackle there. Left his foot dangling a bit. And that's always dangerous when a defender's trying to clear the ball.
A Continental Cards yellow card has been issued.
Continental Cards yellow card to MD Myers in the late show. No reason for concern for accumulation, only a second of the year, but really no question about that.
It's just it's unnecessary for MD Myers. He's saying it wasn't much in it. He just ran across it, but when a player's kicking the ball at the pitch, you know his leg's going to follow through. You've got to give him a little bit of space to clear that ball.
almost as if he knew he was going to be late and just said, I need to get something from this. Here, have that. Takes his pound of flesh and gets a booking as a response. Dolabella sees the run, sends it there. Tampa Bay on the charge. Cicerone just showed enough of the ball to the defender. That is a stellar tackle by Jacob Erlandson, the captain.
It certainly was, because not only was Russell Cicerone about to shoot, but MD Myers was free in the box. So either a shot or a square ball, and Loudoun would have been in trouble. Great tackle. Have a look. It's a fantastic ball, by the way, from Dolabella. Look at MD Myers, bottom of your screen. On his own, running into the box. Look at the frustration. That ball never came his way.
If Cicerone gets there first, he squares it. It's 2-1. Ball back in. Andre will rise to the occasion. Loudoun looking to go ahead. Well, Farson will win the knockdown, but nobody's there to cause any issue. Hilton scanning the scene. Seba Cruz just climbing the ladder with relative ease. Dolabella now. Dolabella! It's biteless in the end, although you applaud the idea. Abukura. Throwing numbers forward with almost reckless abandon here, Loudoun. A draw is not sufficient. There are no moral victories for Loudoun in their current position. Ulfarsson, the goal scorer.
Well, it's a great end to the game because both teams want to win it. No one's sitting back trying to hold on to a draw. As you say, Loudoun have to win it. They need the points. Tampa Bay, they want to make sure they keep their good away run going. They want to make sure that they stay at the top of the table. Although, even if they lost, it wouldn't affect it. But you don't want to allow Charleston to make up too much ground.
And D. Myers held up. And it's going to be a yellow card to Kwame Awua. Carson Henderlong is being put through the final checklists. Scored last time out against his former club, FC Naples, in the Cup. Big body striker who's excellent in transitional moments. One of the best transitional runners in the entire division. Bit of a superpower of his. And Tampa have had almost all their avenues of attack in that type of pace. I do have a free kick. Perez over top. Bandre, head on a swivel. Nodded back into the mix, chested down, Hilton arriving, a shot! Coasting high. The goal was gaping for Charlie Ostrom, but he just leaned back at the pivotal moment.
What a chance for Tampa Bay. This is what they were looking for. Good header here, puts it right in the danger area, plops Lewis. Hilton tries to get on the end of it, and Charlie Ostrom turns, and you've got to keep that below the crossbar. He just leans back, as you say, and skies it. If you just keep over the ball, get it on target, you've got every chance of scoring there, and it would have been in the 89th minute. What a time. So you've got a winner for Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Pedro Dolabella, the lone goal scorer, will come off. Noah Adnan has come on as well for Loudoun. Final alterations by both managers to try and see if they can get anything more out of this. Torres, the one who makes way. That's just likely a case of fresh legs, fullback for fullback. Henderlong has yet to score a league goal this year for Tampa, but has scored 3 in the Cup. There's a bit of a shove there and foul called. I'll tell you this, Lewis Hilton has put in a shift today.
I think he's a wonderful player, Lewis Hilton. He's the one in the middle that they've missed him when he's not been available, and he's been there a long time. As we said, the only player I think who actually was here from the previous year. Every other player is new.
He's been here a while.
And that's why he's been kept. Because he has that ability to drive so hard from midfield.
Third all-time in Rowdies' history and appearances. Can he pop up now? Dodge back, Hilton gets ahead on it. We're into 4 minutes of stoppage time. Hilton Fingerprints all over these final couple minutes. Perez. Supportive run from Nigro. Doesn't go there. Bandre puts in a flying punch. It was a little bit dramatic from the goalkeeper, and it's out for a corner. Now Erlinson's down again.
There's some tired bodies there on both sides, especially Loudoun. They've had to work really hard at the end. Pressure coming from Tampa Bay. Once again, they're away from home. They've got the draw. Not good enough for them. That shows you why they're a quality side. Pushing forward. Luis Perez there, putting the ball right in that danger area. A little bit lucky goalkeeper that he's pressed it on the back of his own player's head as opposed to trying to catch it or flicking it out for a corner. I think that's what Jacob Erlinson was saying to him when he was lying on the ground. Now, goalkeeper's got to come if it's his.
Right into the danger area, off the woodwork again. A match determined by millimeters for Tampa Bay. They've had 2 goals disallowed and hit the post twice. They've not given up, though. Breezing into the box, knocked down. Off the toes of Cicerone and out. It's Loudoun barricaded at the last. Shuttled inward, Nigro, acres of space. Was trying to pick out Seba Cruz, had it intercepted. Ordonez got to let it go and doesn't. Gets bailed out by a foul call.
Oh, that corner causing problems again. Goalkeeper comes, doesn't get it. Header hits the crossbar. I think it was from Hendelong.
Loudoun launching late. Flicks up wildly in the air, down to Ordonez. Kimi Ordonez round the keeper. And a foul has been called. Oh my.
I thought he was through there, Ordonez. I'd like to see that again. Exactly what happened. Nice attack, though, from Loudoun. Nice and positive. Good little flick on there. I don't see how that's a foul. It was, he had the ball, Ordonez. Let's look at this again. There he has the ball. Was Nigro about to head it? And did he do anything to stop him from head it? Wow. Even with the replay, I'm just not quite sure whether that's a foul or not, but it's been given, and they've had a good opportunity disallowed. There was a chance for MD Myers, a goal that he did score disallowed. So I guess both sides are going to end this game saying that they could have and should have won it. And in the end, it's been a fantastic game with lots of controversy.
USL and its dramatic best here late. Stepping in to intervene. It's Erlinson. Forced it forward, and it's funneled back into the custody of Tampa Bay Rowdies. Get forward with one final push. Wind in the sails for Gennaro Nigro. Bodies in the box. Back post ball! And it's Adnan who puts a head on it. And it looks as if it's a goal kick or a foul, maybe.
That's another great ball in from Tampa Bay. Whipped him with pace. Good defending from Noah Adnan at that far post, but they do put you under so much intense pressure, Tampa Bay.
We are past the 4 minutes given. And it's over. Nobody will leave Loudoun happy tonight. Another home draw for Loudoun United. That's now 7-9 overall. And final words shared between 2 managers who are hot the whole way. Don Casciato and Anthony Limbrick. Spicy one, partner.
Yeah, spicy one, good one, positive one from both sides. Tampa Bay now have a record of 8 matches on the road unbeaten, so they'll be happy with that, even if they may be disappointed not getting all 3 points. Loudoun will be frustrated. 1 point is good, especially against the team at the top, but they needed all 3. So everyone leaves with some form of complaint, but some pride in what's been a fantastic game tonight.
It could have been worse for Loudoun. They're saved in the late shell by the CISO now, man of the match, and it is their main man, Thor Ulfarsson. Scored against Tampa Bay in the earlier loss this year. He scores today to save it and make it 1-1.
Yeah, it wasn't too difficult a goal from him, made by Ordonez, and maybe those two can play together up front. Ordonez with the shot, Jamali Waite with a good save, and he made a couple of big saves tonight, Jamali Waite, and Ulfarsson was in the right place to tuck the one in the back of the net. But let's not forget Jamali Waite. Without him, this could have been a very different scoreline.
We break it all down when we return. An all-too uncommon result for Loudoun United, unable to separate against the league's very best Tampa Bay Rowdies. The final score as the bell tolls, 1-1. Post-game coverage coming up here in Virginia.
Business success requires more than just technology. It demands a strategic connectivity game plan, relentless agility, and a human touch. We offer business-only, carrier-grade connectivity, cybersecurity, voice and cloud tailored to meet the diverse needs of our clients. Segra is one of the largest nationwide independent commercial fiber companies in the U.S., with a fiber network infrastructure spanning 28 states. We are Segra. Connectivity, support, solutions.
You have the power to save. Take charge of your energy bill with these tips from Novec. Adjust your ceiling fans to rotate counterclockwise for warmer weather. Novec also recommends installing a programmable thermostat to avoid cooling your home when you're away. Set your water heater to 120 degrees. Novec is helping members save energy, which means saving money. Harness your savings power. Find more tips and tools at novec.com/save.
And so it goes. Another match played, another draw for Loudoun United. 1-1. They do get something out of it after trailing for the majority of the match, but probably not satiated their itch here at home against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. The highlights from the match that was with the former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm Peyton Gallagher, and this was a match that was worthy of your attention from the outset. A penalty early had Tampa Bay off the blocks.
Younger Berry just putting his arm out and trying to block Dolabella, who then steps up and takes the pen. Ethan Bender gets maybe a fingertip on that, but it was an unnecessary penalty to give away. Although Dolabella was probably going to head home anyway, but it was one of those games of controversy at either end. And Pedro Santos came on and made a difference, and there he did. He built that lead up. But Ordonez, great turn, good strike, good save from Jamali Wade, but Orfasten in the right place and tucked that one away. And I mean, those are only two of the moments. We could have a highlight reel of about 15 minutes here of goals disallowed and posts and all sorts of things that went on.
It is a poacher's finish in a game that required that kind of touch from Loudoun to at least get a point, and that is precisely what they do. The stats from the game: you put 7 shots on target, you feel good about your chances of eventually breaking through. That is the case.
Yeah, they weren't bad in that sense, but they hit the woodwork twice, Tampa Bay, which doesn't show as a shot on target. So they probably came closer in that sense. The XG was 0.5 higher, just over 2, whereas 1.5 for Loudoun. So, but it was a good game, well played, positive game by two very good sides, one at the top of the table and one struggling to make the playoffs.
So Tampa finished this game without having gained custody of all 3 points. That's now 3 of the last 4 that's been the case. A little bit of a stumble at the top of the table. Loudoun United able to get something late. Anthony Limbrick back to the drawing board as they enter the final stretch of their season, trying to push for the playoffs. What a game it was. Chaos all the way throughout. But for now, for our entire cast and crew, my partner Gary Bailey, as always, folks, I've been Peyton Keller. Happy trails from Leesburg. The USL season rolls on. We'll talk to you soon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.